All right, I'm gonna give a quick check, make sure I'm audible, no ebook. getting started shortly. Sodium forgot stream key, so bear with us. Or forgot where to find stream key. It happens to the best of us. Truly does. It's going all right today, Draco. Oh. Right. So I've got both players here. Just give me a moment. All right. Thank y'all for being patient. Photoshop, dude. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gauntlet Ascension. I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky, and tonight we got quite the banger lined up for you guys here today. We have the rematch between Rogues and Top Down. The Rogues currently with a record of 5-5 following a clutch win up against the Drywellers, and Top Down with a record of 3-7 and a narrow loss and sudden death up against Stochastic Squad. Looking into this one, Top Down definitely looking to come out on top of this and try and bring themselves back in the running for one of those top 6 spots. Meanwhile, the Rogues are trying to stay ahead of the game and get one step closer to confirming that. Our first match is going to be Sodium versus Somalian, so players, if you want SPS, do let me know. Get that seed generated for you guys shortly. That being said, I'm going to go check them out as they are warming up. Fargons, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime for 21 months. Almost 2 years. Much appreciated for your continued support. Alright, both players have confirmed for SPS. I'm not one to blame for the lack of long bars you're about to receive. Here's your seed, 5823 C1. That is 5823 Charlie 1. Cobra, thank you so much for the T1 sub for 3 months. Hype train incoming. What do you mean? Wait, what the freak? Why did that trigger a hype train? Hope you're doing well, Cobra. Hope your call went well as well. Yeah, but that's only 2 subs. That should not be enough to trigger a hype train. Yes, your call was Scooty. It was mid. Define mid. I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't set it to trigger at just 2. Because as each individual streamer can trigger at what thresholds a hype train is supposed to happen at. And I'm quite confident I didn't set it at 2. But we are going to have it ready from both players. Starting with the good luck captain, talking about Somalian captain. Not his own captain yet, although Sam Finch is supposed to play up next. Got a bit of a unique order going here today to accommodate the players. So you'll get your captain's match second, actually. Sodium getting hydrated. All right. You're all good. Got it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Maybe that's who I learned it from. I swear, ever since, like, lately, whenever I get a Z piece to start, I've been dumping it over to the left, or not to the left, to the right, to set up for a tuck that way, and Sodium did that same kind of opener. But first player of the game to get a Tetris is going to be Sodium. And is able to get Tetris ready without having to take any burns either. So looks like we're going to have a flawless 12 lines here for Sodium. Somalian long bar dependency built up's going to have to take another 2 burn lines there. Nothing too serious. Sodium going to be looking for a Z or a T piece for that left-hand side. This piece is going to work out very nice. Ooh, I like that last second adjustment over there for Sodium. Both players now waiting for their next long bar. And they both find it. A flawless 20 for Sodium right out the gate. Remember, that flawless 20 is going to have to be broken. Small adjustment. 121 for Somalian, only down by a Tetris. So with the exception of Sodium going flawless, we would have been neck and neck. Tetris is going to be scored for both players. Somalian, Tetris ready. Sodium. Ooh, wow. What an adjustment over there. And that's one thing that we've seen a lot from Sodium so far this season. This is Sodium's second match this season, and we noticed that in his debut up against Kwafi, Sodium does a lot of adjustments and has some very efficient stacking to open up on 18 generally. Of course, Somalian, a veteran here in the Gauntlet format, especially on top-down, was the captain of top-down last season. Now that position has been given to Curie. But as far as all the captains went last season, Somalian was one of the most consistent when it comes down to just raw stats. Sodium actually deciding to place that Z piece there. It's going to force at least 2 burn lines. And just like that, Somalian is actually caught back up. Of course, there's a small line discrepancy, so Sodium could still have the real-time advantage. Nice adjustment on that T. Tetris for Sodium, 306 to now 307. Sodium getting set up for a dirty Tetris, hoping for an eyepiece for a well transfer. Eyepiece did not come. As a matter of fact, it came way too late. This is a perfect opportunity for Somalian to take the lead, and it's going to do so with that Tetris. Sodium set up for the Tetris again, finally able to score it this time around. And interestingly, goes for another dirty, and that's going to work out just fine. Only one more line need to burn out to the right-hand side, and just like that, Sodium is back on the right-hand side, knocks in a Tetris into the lead. 386 for Sodium, 377 for Somalian. Somalian behind by 4 lines, so does have the real pace advantage by just under a Tetris. Either way, very competitive game right out the gate. And basically, the rosters for these two teams going into playoffs have been decided. With Sodium and Somalian potentially going to cross paths there. There is Tetris for Sodium, goes up to 456. Somalian at 448. And Somalian was trailing. Was able to find a way to knock down a Tetris, going back into the lead. Sodium with a ton of tucks being forced upon him. Tetris is going to be scored. 508 for Sodium, 495 for Somalian. Both players going to knock down a Tetris. Sodium continuing to push the pace. We'll be looking for another JP. Somalian still up by just about half a Tetris right now. So back and forth endeavor here on level 18, but things about to get into another gear as we close in on level 19. Nice spin over there for Sodium. Somalian having to also kind of correct some issues with the stack. Both players have 3 Tetrises possible with perfect play. Sodium finds one and finds another. Somalian actually finds one too. Sodium gets set up for the last Tetris. And unfortunately, it's not going to find it. Transitions at 603. Somalian, on the other hand, set up for one last Tetris. There's going to be a Tetris for Sodium, goes up to 630. Somalian holding out, trying to avoid burning, but has to. Is going to transition at 618, so separated by under a Tetris upon transition. There's going to be a Tetris for Somalian, back into the lead, but Sodium takes it right back. 659 to now 670. Another Tetris for Somalian. Going to put him back in the lead. Sodium is continuing to push the pace. Somalian is having to do a little bit of burning here. Both players open up the well at the same time. Sodium was Tetris ready for that long bar. Somalian waiting for the next one. Knocks in a Tetris, but a misdrop over there on the left-hand side. Going to cost some lines, and now no longer going to be able to score Tetris. This opportunity for Sodium to start building up a lead here, as Somalian is in the process of bringing the stack back into a scoring position. And he's doing it quite efficiently. There's a Tetris for Sodium. Goes up to 744. Up by 40,000 points at the moment. Somalian looking for a piece for that left-hand side. The well gets open. There's going to be another Tetris for Sodium. 772 to now 707. Tetris for Somalian. But once again, experienced a little bit of complications. Might be forced to go for the left well here, as Sodium just continues to knock down Tetris. Has built up 100,000 point lead. There's a left well for Somalian, though. Back into scoring position. See if he's going to transfer back over to the right-hand side. Takes the triple. Sodium knocks down another Tetris. Continuing to put a lot of pressure here on Sodium, or Somalian. My gosh. Another Tetris over there for Sodium. 888 to now 803 following that Tetris for Somalian. Another Tetris for Somalian, starting to try and gain momentum, but Sodium's fighting back. 919 to now 834. Sodium with just shy of a 100,000 point lead. What a post-transition this has been for Sodium. Another Tetris is going to be scored. However, Somalian trying to not let Sodium get too far out of his reach. Still keeping underneath a 100,000 point deficit. So both players waiting on the next long bar. There's one for Somalian. There's one for Sodium. 987 for Sodium here on level 23. Nice adjustment. Goes for the bits instead of going for a burn line. Let's see if that works out. 2 burns had to be forced as a result, but a Tetris is going to be scored. 822 for Sodium. 929 for Somalian. Another Tetris for Sodium. At 857, Somalian sets up a delayed bits. Finds the long bar to execute it flawlessly. Waiting on another eyepiece. Burns are going to have to be forced following that Tetris. Sodium knocks in another Tetris. 894. Great placement on that eyepiece. And oh, those pieces are perfect. Accommodating the board flawlessly is Sodium right now. B30. We have one level to go before 29. And Somalian just finally passed the max out threshold. But these pieces are not in his favor. Somalian is getting ready to swap grips. Ready to start rolling. Sodium going for one last Tetris. Could get the 1.2. There it is. 1.204 for Sodium in a 29. Looking for an L piece. Finds it. Somalian trailing by almost 200,000 points is at 849. Sodium is just bringing the stack down. Oh my gosh. Goes for the tuck. There it is. Somalian 885 and 29. Trying to get set up for a Tetris. Not going to find it. Going to bring the stack down. Both players are now alive and active here on the final speed of the game. Or the second to last speed of the game. Sodium gets set up for the Tetris. Holding out for the long bar now. Takes the safety triple. Trying to build out the left. Really make sure that he's keeping the board safe. B40 for Somalian. Starting to kind of come back a little bit. But there's a Tetris for Sodium. Goes up to C92. Having to bring the stack down. Didn't get favorable pieces for the left. Nice set of burns over here for Sodium. Somalian is now at B54. Somalian trying to get Tetris ready. Sodium, on the other hand, at deal 1. Almost Tetris ready. Now is Tetris ready. Waiting on the next long bar. Going for a couple of burns. Somalian not liking the pieces that he's receiving. Sodium knocks out a Tetris. Now has a long bar dependency that could convert into a well. No, just going to take the triple. Somalian now down by almost 200,000 points. And has not been able to score too many points in terms of Tetrises. As a matter of fact, is in survival mode. Beautiful split triple that's going to help out things a lot. And speaking about help, Sodium needs that right now. He's down stacking very nicely. Nice double rotation on the T. Sodium is now Tetris ready here at D71. And there's the Tetris, goes up to E15. That's 1.4 to now Somalian's 1.2. And Somalian's going to have to do something soon. We are running out of time, and Somalian is running out of room. Not able to really do anything else. Somalian's going to top out at CO6. A powerful 1.2, but is going to not be enough to Sodium's 1.4. Game 1 goes to Sodium. And the perfect clear. Whoa. 2 Tetrises remain. We could see a 1.6 here. Set up for one more Tetris. Can he get one more long bar? Oh my gosh, he doesn't get it over. No, 1.6. What a game, though, from Sodium and Somalian. Level 34, level 38. Sodium finishing off with a 1.57. All right, we got it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 2. See if Somalian can bounce back or Sodium's going to bring us to match point. We're about to find out here. Going 3, 2, 1, Tetris. What a game that was. Somalian 1.2 into 29 off of a 600k transition too. a 606 to be specific. The post-transition from Somalian was absolutely incredible. A lot of adjustments over here being performed by Sodium. Could knock down the first Tetris without having to take any burns. But we'll have to see, because it looks like, oh, Sodium opting to throw the piece all the way over to the left. Somalian, nice overhang. Is going to accommodate that O perfectly. And once again, by the looks of things, looks like we might get ourselves another... Oh, hold on. L piece is going to be needed. L or an I piece. There's the I piece. Yeah, no flawless 20 over here from Sodium. But 2 burned lines here in the first 20. Definitely not something to be disappointed about. The Somalian is going to once again be trailing by 1 Tetris here in the early game. Once again, these players seem to have to be waiting a little bit longer for each of these long bars as opposed to the last game. Great risk management over here by Sodium, and Somalian has been taking deterrent measures, definitely being a bit more on the conservative end of things. And with that, we might actually find ourselves in a tie position shortly. Oh no, Sodium actually going for the dirty Tetris. Finds it, only has to commit 2 burn lines to bring the stack back into a scoring position. Wow, what a T-spin setup over there. And a Vitz for Somalian. Both players pulling out the stops here. But we're going to be even. Another Vitz is going to be executed by Somalian. And a nice overhang over there for him, Sodium. 261 and now 236. This game in particular has been a kind of a masterclass on demonstrating how you can find so many creative solutions to pieces to just boost your level of efficiency while also maintaining a relatively safe stack. But Sodium does have the lead by 4,000 points at 285. Somalian at 282. Oh, nice. Good overhang over there from Somalian. $353 now for Sodium. There it is. Another Tetris is going to be scored. And oh, so far things have been pretty calm here on level 18. The pieces have, you can argue, have simplified. Not too many complex placements are required to maintain a clean stack. And it's times like this you just love when RNG is just so compliant with the way that you're building. Now, Somalian is going to have some complications arise. Double J dependent. Goes for the leftmost J dependency, and it looks like it's going to work out with the pieces that he received. Fortunately, it's still going to be doing some burning here. Another Tetris over there for Sodium. 491. We are looking at a 650 on Sodium's part. Small misdrop. Looks like he was trying to go for an adjustment, but couldn't execute on what he was looking for. Either way, 500,000 at 100 and 103 line mark. You're well on track for a 600k transition. 650 is on the table. 450 for Somalian means that with perfect play, we could see a 600k transition. But of course, there's no guarantee that you're able to play perfect. Not necessarily in the sense of the way that you stack, even though that does play a part. But if RNG doesn't give you that perfect RNG, so to speak, you're not going to be able to go for it. And Somalian has definitely had to burn quite a bit here. As a matter of fact, the stack has gotten quite uncomfortable. Somalian already going to be trailing by more than 100,000 points. Sodium with 600k. Looking for that J piece. Not finding it. Finally finds it there. 3 more Tetrises is available for Sodium. Knocks down 1. Knocks down another. We could see a 670, and this is off the back of a 606 in the prior game. And there it is. Sodium's going to transition 679. Almost a 200,000 point lead over Somalian at this point. And they were neck and neck earlier in the game. Just Somalian just ran into a troubling situation. Somalian's going to transition 524. 500k transition. Still a lot of potential. With that, Sodium is going to knock down a Tetris in the level 20. Nice overhangs into the Tux, into the Tetris. 734 now for Sodium. Somalian at 550. Another Tetris for Sodium. Trying to put pressure on Somalian. Somalian maintaining the row 2. Could get a perfect well transfer. Opens up that hole in column 8. And is Somalian actually going to try and go for a column 8 Tetris? A little bit of indecision right there on Somalian's part. Looks like Somalian was aiming for a perfect transfer. Did not get the pieces for it. But is now back on the row 2. Putting more weight on this column 8 hole that could have been burned out. Somalian not in a position to score just yet. But opens up the well. Tetris for Sodium. 636 now for Somalian. Sodium at 852. Almost a 200,000 point lead, but is ahead by a level. Somalian now with the column 8 opened up. Would love a J piece. Does the flat double burn. And there it is. Tetris for Somalian. Still potentially going to decide to maintain this column 8. Looking for a way to skim. If the column 8 Tetris is scored, we see a well transfer, but O piece came in, kind of perpetuated this. Now we're heading over to column 7. And Somalian going aggressive. Might actually have to start rolling now. There's... Oh my gosh, this is an incredibly difficult situation for Somalian to survive. Would love to get a... Oh, gets the eyepiece all the way over. Somalian's going to top out. Just too much aggression at the wrong time. Sodium takes game number 2. And Sodium's just going to top out with the max. Not even going to play it out. All right, we got it ready from both players. Sodium is on match point. Can Somalian bring this match back, or at least extend it? We're about to find out as we head first into game number 3. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. After this match, we're going to be having Curie versus Sam Finch. The captain's match. Starting things out this time is Somalian, actually, with the perfect Tetris rate. Sodium has taken a singular burn line. And Somalian, very unsavory position that he's found himself in. Looks like the pieces were a bit rough for both players. Neither with the cleanest of boards. But Sodium is in a scoring position, believe it or not. Albeit one that's for a dirty Tetris. Goes for the Z-spin, able to hit it. Somalian eyepiece dependent here on column 2. Deciding to use the L as the kind of main piece. Oh, Somalian doesn't get a piece all the way over to the left. Can rolling help that? Somalian has an early top at 123. Sodium is good. And the Rogues lead the match 1-0. Just things spiraled out of control so quickly. Stats from the second half of the season still have to be put in. Blue Scooting crashing the game put me like 3 weeks behind on like all the stuff that I need to do. But for our next match, we're going to be having Fury versus Sam Finch. Don't go anywhere because the captain's match is coming up right next. Dude, I need to update a lot of stuff on my Twitch. My achievements haven't been updated since September 3rd, 2021. Oh my gosh. That's kind of ridiculous. We'll get to changing all this stuff tonight. Hopefully. Alright. Oh, really, Matt Martin? You think so? Last time I checked, you lost our bet pretty badly. Not gonna lie, I read that so wrong. I thought the way that I first read that into my head, it was like, not gonna lie, I like played like 5 months in the past week. And I was like, bro, what? How did you compress time? What do you mean? And then I reread it and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, let me get you guys to seed. My bad. Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean you played 5 months in a week? Lapis, where does anything say that? I'm pretty sure in Ivory's message that she sent 3 days ago says, Lapis, unfortunately, there is no other diamond on the other team available at a later start time. Only one that is available is right at the beginning, so I can't make a diamond match happen. Sorry. You gotta read the Discord, my dude. Yes, 39 super kill screen. All right. We got it ready from our captain's match. The Rogues currently lead the match 1-0. But can top down make a comeback and tie up the set? We're about to find out. So go ahead and get them counted down. We go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right. Rogues currently up 1-0. Sodium is able to sweep Somalian. Fortunate early top out right there from Somalian game 3. But that's just Sodium playing his part for the team. And the captain's the strongest, generally, strongest player on their team. It's up to them to now perform. Curie getting up a bit high. Tad bit uncomfortable, actually. A lot of eyepieces, and actually in this case, an eyepiece is not necessarily what you're looking for. Led to a bunch of awkward placements utilizing them. Curie is now, that's going to be a triple. Keep it up alive. Amazing down-stacking effort from Curie. The well is open now, just waiting on the next long bar to score Tetris. Be rewarded for that tremendous down-stacking effort. The bar is just not coming. Nice adjustment to avoid taking the trip or the double. And Curie is going to stay alive. Wow, goes for the tuck there too. Small misdrop over there from Sam. You definitely see it from the shock. Either way, it's like both players are in a stable position. Curie's left could use a little doctoring up. Well, Sam just has an ideal stack here. 198 for Sam, 150 for Curie. Curie now in a lot of trouble here. Still trying to find a way to downstack. Survival is going to be really tough. We're going to be looking for both an L and a J. That Z piece doesn't make it over. That's an early top out for Curie. Sam Fitch is good for game number 1. All right, we got readies from both. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Sam Fitch leads the match 1-0. See if Curie can tie things up. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. See, both players do in fact have the same pieces. And already Curie starting with a uncomfortable stack here. It's gonna survive. Brings the stack down to a more flexible height. Still having to do some burning though. And Sam is doing nothing but scoring Tetrises. And a few burns here and there. About 5 burn lines for Sam to be exact. And Curie just not finding any success with the pieces at the moment. Brought the board all the way down to the bottom. Still not going to be a Tetris scoreable for Curie here. Trying to avoid creating multiple long bar dependencies. Throwing pieces over to the left. Long bar comes out, be a triple, but can go for row 1 now. Sam is just on an absolute tear. 235 for Sam, 125 for Curie. Trailing by 110,000. That Tetris is going to help a bit, though. Stack can now be built on row 1 to score Tetrises from that height. Now both players able to be in a spot to where they can score Tetrises. Not too many complex pieces that need to be dealt with at the moment. Nice adjustment find over there for Sam. And Sam is also behind in lines. So up by 100,000 points, behind by a Tetris worth in lines. Tetris is going to be scored for Curie, but now very peculiar stack. There's a couple ways to solve this. And, ooh, looks like some indecision over there for Curie. Nice! Hits the spin tuck. Is definitely going to have his hands full trying to figure out a good way to navigate through this. Oh, no. I-piece makes it in, brings the stack down. Throws that J-piece underneath. Would like another J-piece or an I-piece. Throws the I-piece all the way over to the left, actually. Just a lot of frantic last-second placements over here from Curie. Now long bar dependent over there in column 8. Finds the long bar. It's going to be trailing by 200,000. Sam is just on an absolute tear here. Curie is still alive, and that's an important factor. But just not in a position to score. Set up for a dirty Tetris. One of the dirtiest. No eyepiece anywhere to be found. This is such a tough position for Curie to find himself in. But is bringing the stack down and just in time because we're about to head into level 19. Curie will transition at 313. Sam, quite a bit of ways from transition. That Tetris is going to help Curie out a bit. Bring the stack down. Sam will transition after the next... Oh, beautiful adjustment over there from Sam. Will transition after the next 2 Tetrises. Make that 1. And Curie back in survival mode. This time, higher speed, but same height that we saw last time. Sam's going to transition 676. The survival from Curie has been amazing, but it's hurt his pace so much. It's now long bar dependent in column 8. Setting up for a dirty. Not sure how much longer Curie is going to be able to survive this. A lot of the last second placements. Left side is not looking friendly at all. Able to get an eyepiece over the left. Covers up the well, though, right as soon as the eyepiece hit the stack. No freaking way. Curie brings the stack all the way down, but a couple of misdrops gonna build it right back up. Last second tuck, and that tuck actually might have been a game saver. Curie's still working on surviving. Down by over 400,000 points at this moment. And Sam is behind by 2 levels. Even if Curie is to take this to 29 and Sam tops out early, that's not going to be an easy chase down. And a missed rotation over here from Curie. This survival is ridiculous. Nice split double. Curie's going to bring the stack down. And it just keeps getting built back up. And soon we're heading into the post transition. That misdrop might actually be fatal. Curie's going to top out. Sam Finch is good for game number 2. All right, we got it ready from both players to get them counted down. Sam Finch is up 2-0. Let's see if Curie can turn that infinite dig into infinite perseverance. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Either way, the dig effort from Curie was truly phenomenal. Almost got out so many times. Just couldn't find those last few pieces to bring the stack back into a scoring position. And now, similar to what we saw with Somalian, another member of Top Down has found themselves backed up against the wall. Sam Finch has 3 chances to close this out. A lot of aggression over here from Curie. Of course, Top Down currently this season has a record of 3-7. He's already played 1 match up against the Stochastic squad. And each team has 9 matches that they play in the second part of the season. So winning here, or having a chance to win here, would be huge for getting them back on track to get one of those 6 spots for a guaranteed playoff spot. Because in the middle, it is a bloodbath. Ooh. Curie, once again, going to be putting a dig. Not as complex or as dangerous as the prior one in the last game. But it's going to be a costly one. Oh my gosh. Throwing that Z piece to the left. But Curie brings the stack all the way down to the bottom. And whoa, goes aggressive, goes for the Crow 3 Tetris. Wasn't quite anticipating that. Set up for the column 9 now. And there it is, Tetris for Curie. No, that is not a Tetris. Hangs the piece on column 8. But now that it is the Tetris, a little bit optimistic there on my part. 292 for Sam, 207 for Curie. Curie once again at a disadvantage, but not as big as the last game. Around this time last game, Sam was approaching a 200,000 point lead. Couple of dirty Tetrises from Curie. Gonna close the gap, but Sam is actually having to burn right now. Curie's continuing the rock with the center well. And is finding success. It's now closed the gap to only 50,000 points. Knocks down another Tetris. Sam is just trying to get the board back into a scoring position. Board is brought all the way down to the bottom. Curie down by only 40,000 points. There's Tetris for Sam, Tetris for Curie. 388 to now 351. As we close in on our third transition, or not our third, our second transition of the match, but a transition for the third game. Touch is going to be scored over there for Curie. Not going to go. Oh, nice adjustment. That accommodates that J perfectly. And one more Tetris will send us into the transition over here for Curie. There it is. 447 transition. Sam with 2 Tetrises to remain. Now 1. There it is. Sam will transition at 490. Curie up top. Has to survive. No more games left to give. Piece makes it all the way over to the left. phenomenal down-stacking effort. The well is open, just waiting for a long piece. There's the eyepiece. Knocks down not one, but two Tetrises. Goes up to 507. Sam Finch, on the other hand, holding out for the next long bar. Sets up the spin and is able to execute it on properly. Now, Sam is the one looking for an eyepiece. Running into a drought. And the double rotation. Sam's going to top it at 498. Curie keeps hope alive, taking game number 3. That is the wrong color. There we go. Yeah, this does not look survivable. But here's your seed. Alright. Looks like we got readies from both players. Let's go and get them counted down. Curie has avoided the sweep. But can he avoid the closeout? Sam is aiming for that. Let's find out. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. An LJ start. Definitely one of the more comfortable starts you can get in NES Tetris. Either way, it's just a lot of things going wrong for Sam in the post-transition. Just a very tough drought to manage on level 20. But 46,000 over here for Sam Finch. 45,000 for Curie. Curie, of course, open. Well, now both players are tied. I was going to say opened up flawlessly. But that's not the case anymore. And, ooh, double rotation over there for Sam Finch. Gets the well open just in time for it to be able to use the second long bar for a Tetris. Can be trailing by Tetris and pace, though. But there's no long bar to be found, so Curie's going to be forced to take some burns as well. Very interesting way to place that eyepiece. Definitely looked like a misdrop. Double rotation on the T. Going for the burn. Set up for a dirty Tetris. Not going to go for it. The smart thing to do. And this drought is not looking too friendly for Curie. The left side is jagged. Right side looking for specific pieces. The board is in disarray. Curie long bar dependent. Finding a way to navigate through it without needing it. Now just needs an L piece. Now needs an I piece. Goes for the L flat that burns out a double. Set up. No, not going to get set up. Smart decision over there from Curie. But how long is this perpetual dig going to last? This kind of thing we saw last game. Curie now in danger. Needing the I piece. Not going to happen. Curie's going to have an early top out. Sam Finch takes game number 4. The Rogues are now up 2-0. That being said, we still got 2 more matches left. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Let me go ahead and swap to the scene, because I'm about to use the restroom. Had to use the restroom as well. Look at that. Just in time when I get back. Alright, Matt Martin had requested for SPS. Let's see if Doodle's comfortable with that. Yeah, if you win the next two, we do go to sudden death. I think Sudden Death might have to be rescheduled because I think Curie had commitments after this. Alright, here's the seed. Alright. Got it ready from both players. Top Down has to win this match in order to still have a chance, or still has to win this match in order to still have a chance to win the overall team match. Let's see what happens. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Got Matt Martin versus Doodle. Matt Martin, one of the few DAS players, or players that play DAS, to make it in the CTWC gold bracket. Do, of course, also making the gold bracket. And one of the key members for Top Down to see success this season. And, ooh, accidental rotation there. Looks like Doodle was going to try and go for the T-spin. So early on, some burns are going to be forced on Doodle's part. Matt Martin keeping the stack relatively low. Looks like a drought is going to hamper progression of these two players' scores. Well, gets open over there for Matt Martin, though. Doodle up top. This could be deadly. Gets the eyepiece into column 3. Set up for another Tetris and knocks it down. Wow. Definitely saw glimpses of Captain Curie right there. But Doodle's going to keep things alive and going. Right now, Doodle just focusing his energy on just burning out. Almost there. Just Swell is open. Now just waiting on the next eyepiece. There's Tetris for Doodle. Matt Martin at 166. Doodle at 151. And Matt holding out for the J piece. Does find the J piece too. There is Tetris for Matt Martin. Was falling behind in the piece sequence as Doodle was playing up top for a good chunk of lines. $214 now for Matt, 201 for Doodle. And nice Z-spin over there for Matt. Gonna transfer into a Tetris. Doodle knocks down a Tetris as well. Not far behind Matt's current score. But it is so far ahead in the sequence. About 2 Tetrises worth ahead in lines. Matt's gonna find one of those Tetrises. Nice tuck over there for Doodle. Another Tetris is going to be scored. Like that overhang from Matt, too. And Doodle's keeping up with Matt, being able to score Tetrises regularly. And, of course, never having that massive dig situation towards the beginning of the game. And the thing about that particular situation on Doodle's part, was that he was able to find 2 Tetrises in the midst of down stacking. So it's as efficient as you could want in that kind of situation. 378 for Matt, 387 for Doodle. About 10 lines ahead. Matt knocks down the Tetris first. Looks like he's going to deal with this long bar dependency later. Well, that later is now. Had to cover it up. Still looking for another eyepiece. Doodle gonna potentially be in a position to continue growing his lead. As Matt looks for an L piece, or not an L piece, a J piece. Finds it, but at least 6 more burn lines are going to be forced before he can start scoring any kind of Tetrises. Doodle now 100,000 point lead over the past, I want to say 40,000, or not 40,000, 40-ish lines. Was able to establish that. Tetris for Matt, 471. Doodle at 546. Goes for the flat eye placement. Only it's going to cost 1 burn line. Potentially a misdrop there on Doodle's part. We are heading close to the level 19 transition. Well, it gets covered from Doodle right as soon as the long bar comes. Well, reopen. Covered back up. Looking for a J piece. J piece came a bit too late. Looking for another one. Does get the eye piece. Tricky situation for Doodle. Transitions up very high at 554. Trying to down stack. Needs an L piece. That's going to help out a lot. Doodle still trying to survive, and it's working out well for him. Well is open, just needs a long bar. There it is, Tetris for Doodle. Amazing survival. Matt Martin transitions at 567, knocks down a Tetris. We almost have a tie. Truly fantastic dig effort over there by Doodle, and another one's going to be needed. Nice, able to throw that eyepiece all the way over to the left, and has brought the stack down to a safer position. 623 to now 620, and add a Tetris to Doodle. Score is going to go up to 651. Matt Martin's going to add a Tetris as well. Goes up to 645. 1 Tetris in the favor of Doodle, but Doodle is ahead by almost 2 whole levels. So Matt Martin with a definite pace advantage. Things are getting a little bit high up here for Matt. Going to be forced to do some burning soon. Nice pole vault over there for Matt. But more burning is going to be forced. Eyepiece makes it all the way over to the left. Needs a J piece. Finds the J. Hangs the eyepiece to the left. Needs eyepiece. That's going to bring the stack down. Left side is now 5 high. So Matt Martin's going to be able to get an eyepiece over there effortlessly. 686 for Matt. 696 for Doodle. Doodle dealing with a kind of elevated stack towards the center. Having to maneuver pieces around. Was Tetris ready? Matt Martin takes the lead with that Tetris. 717 and now 701. Couple of tricky pieces over here for both players, but they both navigate it well. There's a Tetris for Matt. 755 to now 734. Doodle here at level 25. Matt Martin's going to knock down another Tetris. Back into the lead. 785 to now 765. Doodle holding on to a small lead. But we do got to remember, Doodle is ahead in lines. Matt Martin running into some complications. Tetris is scored. T-spin is missed. So it's going to bring the stack down and have to address these holes that have been generated on his stack. Doodle, of course, is a roller. Has the ability to play on 29, but Matt Martin has been working on rolling too. Question is, will we see that today? Doodle currently 50,000 point lead. Already at level 28, but things are getting incredibly high for Doodle. Needs to bring the stack down and get back into a scoring position. Matt Martin holding out for this long bar. Would love an eyepiece. There it is. Tetris for Matt Martin. 880. Doodle is at 894 with only 1 line to go till 29. The well is open. Doodle needs an eyepiece. Can't get it over. Doodle tops out at 895. Matt Martin, you need 896. Holding out for this last long bar to potentially go for a Tetris. Hold on, Matt Martin needs this eyepiece. Oh, no! Doesn't complete the chase down at 885. Went too aggressive. Doodle takes game number 1. All right, we got it ready from both players. Let's go and get them counted down to game number 2. We go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Ooh, SC start. Everyone's favorite. Both players knocked down at least one Tetris. Matt Martin having to reconstruct the stack in order to knock down the second. T-spin is hit this time. Just very unfortunate game right there for Matt Martin in game 1. Didn't even need a Tetris to complete the chase down and had plenty of time. But no long bar was found. And already things are starting to slow down. Must be. Doodle's gonna take an early lead. Dirty Tetris for Doodle 145. Matt Martin hits the S-spin. Looks like Doodle might have made a misdrop there. And ooh, these jagged pieces wasn't helping out at the beginning, but Doodle's board is accommodated for them now. Looked like Doodle was thinking about setting up for a dirty. And there it is, Dirty Tetris for Doodle, continuing to score even while in the midst of digging. Doodle opens up the well. The long bar does come. Meanwhile, Matt Martin looking for the next long bar as well. Board's not going to be ready. It's just been a suffer game for Matt Martin. Unable to find the next long bar. Doodle's being forced to do a lot of burning as well. There it is. Long bar finally hits the stack for Matt Martin. Tetris Doodle could be in some trouble if an eyepiece is not found relatively quickly. There's an eyepiece that's going to help burn a split triple or split double, pardon me. And once again, Doodle back in a stack that is very uncomfortable. Set up for a dirty Tetris, but a long bar has to come right now. Doodle tops out at 221. Matt Martin needs a score of 222. 222 is all that Matt Martin needs. Matt Martin's going to be good, tying us up 1-1. Maybe one of your pads ruptured on your buttons, because that definitely could affect the feel. All right. Gas can still work your pads. What are you talking about, dude? That being said, let's go and get these players counted down for game number 3. Going 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So we are tied 1-1. Early top out from Doodle in this past game, and in game 2, Matt Martin failed a less than 10,000 point chase down. So definitely anything can happen as a minimum of 2 games remain. And already Doodle having to deal with some very unfavorable pieces. Eyepiece makes it over to the left. And long bars seem to be in a more frequent frequency. Interesting sentence there. Than the previous game. So Dude's going to be able to survive just fine. Matt Martin is going to take the lead though, as both players walk headfirst into another drought. Tetris is going to be scored for both Doodle and Matt Martin. Doodle's going to knock down another one, and so does Matt. Doodle, 1 Mino shy of being Tetris ready for that one. But, like I said, the frequency of long bars this game has been a positive factor. Matt Martin actually unable to utilize that long bar for Tetris. So it's going to fall slightly behind. 171 and now 153. Matt Martin in the lead slightly. Right now, both players just keeping the stacks maintained. There is Tetris for Matt Martin. Doodle at 201 knocks down a triple. The well is open, ready to receive a long bar for a Tetris. Matt Martin's already going to start the burning effort early. This drought is very uncomfortable. Nice burn over there for Matt. Wow, what is this drought? Long bar finally hits the stack over there for Doodle and for Matt. Matt couldn't use it for a Tetris though. Hits the T-spin. There it is, Tetris for Matt. Doodle with a misdrop, it seems, on that T-piece. He's going to be able to get it fixed up. Matt Martin now could go for row 3. Knocks down row 3 Tetris, back in the lead. 280 for Matt, 262 for Doodle. And it looks like Matt's going to try and go for a column 3 this time around. We're definitely running into the more drought-heavy part of this piece sequence. Because this has been back-to-back droughts. So why going for center well could potentially be dangerous on Matt's part. But he's keeping the well open. And covers it right as soon as the long bar hits the stack. And couldn't use the next long bar either. Oh, doesn't get that S piece all the way over to the left. The well is open. Tetris going to be scored. Sigh relief can be breathed over there for Matt. Because that could have been fatal. Tetris for Doodle. And Martin's just going to slide that piece underneath. Nothing's going to burn though. So Doodle going to be able to take advantage and really manifest this lead. Well, players back with boards under control. There's a Tetris for Matt at 375. And a Tetris for Doodle at 438. We are closing in on the level 19 transition once again. One more Tetris will do it for Doodle. 2 more possible for Matt. There's 1 for Matt. And Doodle will transition at 487. Oops. Matt Martin will transition at 427. Doodle up high. Trying to down stack. Matt Martin just playing it safe, bringing the stack down. Waiting for the next long bar. And Matt Martin's going to have to wait a minute. Does get the long bar. Well, gets almost reopened. Now just has to wait for the next eyepiece. Doodle opens up the well. Missed T-spin over there for Doodle. Tetris for Matt. A manageable board for both players. Doodle and Matt both knocked down Tetrises. Level 21, 497 for Matt. 543 for Doodle. Matt's going to go ahead and take the triple. Another Tetris for Doodle. He's built up the stack to quite a healthy height. Adjustment for Matt was going to initially go for the burn. And that might have cost him. But gets the eyepiece over narrowly. Keeping hope alive here in this game. Not going to go for the S flat. Going to go for a little bit more of a costlier placement. But is still alive. Tetris ready now. 571 for Matt. 637 for Doodle. Matt down by 100,000 points. May only be down in terms of real-time lead. Is going to need to continue to score Tetrises though. Because this is definitely a game with lower bars. It's a Tetris for Matt. 608 to now 737, down by 130,000 points. Another Tetris for Matt. Trying to gain some steam. Matt set up. Another Tetris for both Doodle and Matt. 804 for Doodle, 673 for Matt. Matt now running into some complications. Don't quite like the pieces that he's getting. Doodle is on level 27. Matt is on level 26. Another Tetris for Doodle. Getting close to the territory where some of these Tetrises could be the dagger, unless Matt Martin is able to go in the 29. You can see Matt Martin going aggressive. Long bar, column 9. Even with a piece sequence like this. Putting up with the long bar. Long bar hits the stack. Tetris for Matt. Set up for another one. Another Tetris for Matt. 920 for Doodle. 788 for Matt Martin. At this point, Matt Martin is going to have to involve 29 play if he hopes to win this. 823. 2 Tetrises remain. There's one. Matt Martin set up for the last one here. There's another. It looks like Matt Martin not going to be able to do anything. Not going to swap grips for rolling. Doodle with the max out here on level 30 is good for game number 3. An 893, considering the kind of pieces, not too bad. Right, we got it ready from both players. Doodle at match point, keeping hope for top down alive. Let's see if Matt Martin can force a decider. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Another LJ start. You love to see it. Starting this out, both players, 2 Tetrises on the board, make that 3. Martin's had some really consistent plays so far in this set. Doodle forced to do some burns here. Excuse me. And so far, the level 18 has been pretty calm. Doodle getting a bit high, actually. Should be fine. Does everything to open up the well. Brings the stack down. So, more manageable height. It's going to give Matt Martin the opportunity to catch back up. Hold on a second. All right, Doodle gets the long bar. Knocks down a Tetris. Just like that, Doodle's going to maintain a clean board. Tetris score at 252 for Doodle. Matt Martin behind in lines, of course, at 246. I noticed that Matt Martin likes to set up a lot of T-spin setups. Fortunately, that T-spin setup wasn't very beneficial for his board. Doodle once again getting out of a sticky situation. Martin just waiting on the next eyepiece at the stack. Tetris for Matt. Once again, is going to fall behind in lines. Doodle's been playing just up so high and narrowly avoiding top outs. So in terms of pace, we're more or less even. There's Tetris for Matt. Doodle, a lot of complications hitting the stack right now. That's only going to burn a double. It's also going to burn a double. Bring the stack down, though. So, you know, allow it to be a bit more comfortable to deal with. And Matt Martin can utilize this opportunity to build up a lead if he can get in the scoring position shortly. And those pieces are perfect for Matt. Doodle transitions at 425. Matt Martin holding the advantage currently. Doodle still running into complications even in the post-transition. Matt Martin has to win this game in order to force a decider. Doodle needs to survive in order to avoid the decider. And survival is not guaranteed. That eyepiece is a godsend. Doodle's going to bring the stack down. 5-10 now for Matt Martin. Still a very complicated board for Doodle. And wait, that could prove to be fatal if the long bar doesn't come. But hold on, no. Doodle hangs the piece over to the left. We're headed to a decider. All right. You got it ready from both players. Let's go and get them counted down. This is a decider. Doodle needs to win this in order for top down to have one more chance to force a sudden death. If Matt Martin wins this, the Rogues will once again get another Mercy Rule victory this second half of the season. Dude, already getting up high. Not the situation I would want to be in. Plentiful long bars. Doodle's going to find a Tetris. But, wow. Where are all these long bars in the games prior? Matt Martin also having to endure a dig. Doodle brought the stack all the way down to the bottom. Definitely a scary situation that had to be endured almost directly in the level, like as soon as the game started. But we're only 30 lines in. A lot can change. Matt Martin with a very unfavorable setup here. It's actually not immediately obvious the road that he's going to take to burn it out. But those pieces look like they should work just fine. Doodle with a 2 Tetris lead. It's going to extend it up to a third. 169 for Doodle, 107 for Matt. There's another Tetris for Doodle and Matt. Well, players keeping things pretty clean. A little bit of uncleanliness was experienced at the beginning. Of course, Matt is no stranger to these kind of situations. Was able to come out and clutch up against the Millionaires, playing a vital role in handing the Millionaires one of 2 losses that they had in the earlier half of the season, which that rematch is going to be interesting, especially with the new composition of both teams. Well, I say new, but more like new additions to the composition of both teams. 330 for Doodle, 230 for Matt Martin. Just really struggling to string together too many Tetrises. So Doodle with a 120,000 point lead. And Matt Martin passing up on opportunity to burn out. Looks like he's looking for specific pieces. Fortunately, those pieces were not found. The Tetris can be scored. He's going to have to deal with all this weight on top of that hole afterwards. Tetris is going to be scored for both players. Matt covers up the well. Need to keep it open. Board is brought down to the bottom. Tetris for Doodle. Matt not able to utilize that long bar for a Tetris. Doodle now almost up to a 200,000 point lead. On track for a 600k transition. Tetris for both Matt and Doodle. 512 now for Doodle. 521 for Matt. There is no line discrepancy like there has been in the past. So Matt's got a tall order ahead of him. Tetris for Matt. Tetris for Doodle. 20-ish lines remain. So both players currently with 4 to 5 Tetrises in hand. Accidental misdrop over there for Doodle. And just like that, a door of opportunity has opened up slightly for Matt. It's not going to be enough to recuperate 200,000 point deficit. But to close the gap right before transition, and Doodle's board with only 10 lines to fix this. He's going to be spending most of his time just getting prepared for level 19. Matt transitions at 480. Doodle is going to transition at 595. Knocks down Tetris, goes up to 619. So Matt closed the gap to 120,000 point deficit. But now both players are clean and are ready for level 19 action. There's the Tetris for Doodle, a Tetris for Matt. Keeping the well open, not trying to cover it up with that long bar. Now it's just looking for an L piece. Or, no, going to set up for a center well. Center wells can be dangerous. And Matt's just going to be forced to burn this down. Not finding any success right now. Has to go for a split triple. And Doodle almost back up to a 200,000 point lead. Matt's Tetris ready. Doodle having to cover up the well. Reopens it just in time for the long bar. Matt forced to go for an awkward S flat. And Doodle's just continuing to knock down Tetrises. Matt, long bar dependent. Several misdrops in a row. That I-burn is going to help. And unless he can swap to rolling right now, this game is as good as done for Matt. Matt's going to top it at 544. Doodle is good for the decider. Keeping hope alive for top down. And bringing the match score 2-1. Next will be the match between Draco and Ian Heath. Do we see a sudden death? Or do the rogues still walk away? Not unscathed, but with a victory. That's something that we'll have to find out shortly. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Yo, dog, you're just in time for game number 4. Between Draco and Ian Keith. Yo, they're also both wearing the jerseys. Hog. Oh man, I love Kingsman, dude. Hope your world record chase went well. Crazy games. 2.2 at 514 lines. Very nice. Alright, Draco and Ian Keith. I assume we're rocking with same piece sets? Let the punishment begin. Alright, when both players are ready, we can get the countdown started for match number 4 to determine if the Rogues take the match 3-1 or if we head to a sudden death to be scheduled at a later date. We got it ready from Ian Keith. Yes, dude. The jerseys in full glory, man. You love to see it. Alright, got it ready from both players. Let's see if the match concludes today. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Draco, of course, a key or an instrumental player in Top Down's recent success and close success, particularly up against the Stochastic squad. And Ian Keefe has had some strong matches and some pretty notable wins. Now they face each other in a pretty different situation required for both of them. Ian Keefe needs to win this so the Rogues take this match and bring up their record to a 6-5 record. Top Down, as I mentioned earlier, has to win this match if they want to have a good chance of staying in the runnings to make the top 6 teams going into the playoffs. The current record of 3-6, or not 3-6, 3-7. Still with some tough teams to go through, such as the Millionaires and of course the Grandmasters. This would be a huge win if they can pull this off, or at least bring it to sudden death. And that's what Draco aims to do. Currently, here in the first 30-ish or so lines, 123 for Ian Keefe, Draco at 83,000. So Ian Keefe holding on to a 2-3 Tetris lead. So far, Ian Keefe's going to actually run into a minor slowdown. Draco's going to be able to utilize the opportunity, score one Tetris, scoring the second one, not really getting the pieces to try and build up for it. There's the Tetris for both players. 220 for Ian Keefe, 155 for Draco. Players should be in a pretty comfortable position here. As long as no misdrops happen and the eyepiece frequency remains pretty respectable, you should be able to see some clean stacking. That's exactly what we're getting. A couple of Tetrises going to be scored over there for Draco, going to bring him up to 247, down by 2 Tetrises at the moment. Run into a small slowdown on Draco's part. Ooh, I like the overhang that Ian Keefe set up here. Tetris is going to be scored, and the J piece perfect for the tuck. Trying to extend his lead up by 60,000. And ooh, Draco missed a slightly more efficient placement there. It's still going to be fine. Knocks down a Tetris. Yeah, both of these players push down to varying degrees. As you can see, Ian Keefe with the 52 in the first 2 digits. Looks like Draco slowed down the amount that he pushes down. Oh, never mind. Right back up at it again. So yeah, depending on who it is, they may push down a lot, they may push down a little. The thing that is being pushed up is the pace over here for Ian Keefe. 120 or 429 for Ian Keefe here before 100 lines. And at 347 for Draco. So Ian Keefe, a potential 600k transition game. As Draco struggles to try and string anything together over the past couple of lines. Ian Keefe's going to take a safety maintenance triple. Wants to keep the board in check. Don't know when the next long bar is going to come. And we're 20 lines away from the post-transition. Draco has gotten the board under control. Ian Keefe, nice, utilizing that S piece for a double. And oh, had an opportunity to burn it out with the T. But either way, it's going to be fine. 515 and now 427. Tetris is going to be scored for Ian Keefe. Goes up to 539. Two more Tetrises available for both players. Draco would have to play perfect to get both of his. Now one Tetris is left. There's Draco's going to transition at 501. Ian Keith, on the other hand, will transition at 588. So Ian Keith with the advantage going into the transition. Tetris ready. Draco has already knocked down one here on going into level 20. Tetris is going to be scored for Ian Keith, but is going to be looking for a T-piece in certain ways to help resolve this as efficiently as possible. T-piece not found, so it's going to be forced to do some burning. Draco has the well open. Going to go for the triple. So no Tetris is going to be scored. Still trailing by 80,000 points. Ian Keith almost back into scoring position. There's the Tetris for Draco. 566 now. Going to be trailing by just under 60,000 points as Ian Keith gets Tetris ready here on level 21. There it is, Tetris for Draco. Goes up to 651. Ian Keith. Tetris ready. I think I misspoke somewhere. Anyways, another Tetris for Draco. 605. Ian Keith at 681. Draco still trailing by now 100,000 points following that Tetris from Ian Keith. Another Tetris for Draco here, level 23. Ian Keith burns out of Tetris readiness, but another eyepiece comes shortly thereafter. Draco still trying to put some pressure on Ian Keith here. 667 now for Draco, 742 for Ian Keith. Trying to force Draco to play more aggressive, because we are closing in on 29. Draco's the tapper. Ian Keith is a Daz player. So although Draco can play a little bit at 29, it's nothing like what we've seen all day today with some of our rollers. And now Draco's running into a burn. Already down by almost 100,000 points and closing in on level 29. Draco needs to get out of this very efficiently. Missed quick tap over there for Ian Keith, so Ian Keith's going to be spinning the next couple of lines trying to rectify that misdrop. Draco almost back in a scoring position, but so is Ian Keith. As a matter of fact, Ian Keith could get to it faster than Draco should a J-piece come. J-piece nowhere to be found. But Draco potentially... Oh my gosh, Draco's getting set up. Dirty Tetris is what Draco's going for, and he has to at this point. Nearly gets it over. And Draco's going to go for another one. Needs an L piece to help complete it. And pieces aren't there for Draco. Draco tops out at 784. Ian Keith is good for game number 1. Ninja, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, or not the Twitch Prime, the T1 sub for 10 months. Saying, let's go Rogues. Of course, Ninja being a member of the Rogues. Makes sense. A 983 at 29. Powerful game. Here's a Draco needs a moment. Right. Once we have a ready from both players, we can get game number 2 underway. All right, both players are ready. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And both players are in fact on the same piece set, so we're good to go on that front. And looks like already early on, both players having to endure slightly. Draco with a more comfortable stack for it after all is said and done, but has taken one more burn line than Ian Keith. And yeah, it looks like to start out this game, both players are having to be very patient on these long bars. Ian Keith, a little bit of an unfavorable situation developing. Actually, dude, where's the long bar? There it is. Tetris for Ian Keith. He's going to have to fix up the stack afterwards, but nonetheless, it's still alive. There's going to be a Tetris for Draco. And you can see both players reacting to that. Such an early game drought. I mean, hey, it's Gauntlet. What do you expect? Anyways, 115 now for Ian Keith. 126 for Draco. Draco, of course, opened this game up a little bit better than Ian Keith and has been able to find success off of the long bars that have hit the stack. Ian Keith now setting up for something here in the center. He's going to find the Tetris and a piece to burn it out. Like one more I piece, though, or an L. Now would like an I piece. Excuse me. Ooh, small misdrops over here from Ian Keith. This actually complicates things a lot. And Draco also up top. Draco in danger of topping out, too. Ian Keith has brought the board down. Draco needs an eyepiece. Eyepiece is not coming. Eyepiece makes it over to the right. There's still hope left for Draco. A J-piece would be godsend here. Fortunately, that J-piece came a bit too late. Not sure how much more down stacking he's able to manage. Draco tops out at 182. Ian Keith needs 183. Setting up for a Tetris. Knocks it down. That's 180. A double will be good enough. And there it is. Ian Keith takes game number 2. Yes. We love Gauntlet seeds here in Gauntlet. Man, y'all was waiting for that 4th long bar for a long time. That was easily like a high 30, if not 40. But Ian Keith is on match point. Looking to take the match for the Rogues. Let's see if Draco can force a decider. But that starts with winning game number 3. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Alright, both players are on the same piece sets. Different approaches too. And oh, already a misdrop. As of right now, things are looking pretty calm. Ian Keefe has been able to score 2 Tetrises. Draco looking for his first. Finds his first one. Gonna get set up for his second. And is able to knock it down. A lot of long bars. It's almost as if RNG is like, sorry for drowning you guys so much in the beginning last game. Let me make it up to you. Oh, what an adjustment over there from Draco. Great placement on that tee. Ian Keefe is going to slow down, and Draco actually is in a position to take advantage. It's going to be a Tetris for Draco into the lead. Ian Keefe almost bringing the board back into a scoring position. Wasn't necessarily in danger at any moment. But of course, the pressure, there is going to be some pressure on Ian Keefe, but most of the pressure is on Draco. Draco's the one that has to win this game to force a game 4. Ian Keefe would obviously love to close things out here and now, not risk a sudden death for his team. But wow, hold on. These pieces are actually a bit complex. For both players, each of them with their own varied stacks. Draco does find a Tetris. 171 for Draco. Ian Keefe at 100,000, basically. Looking for an eyepiece to go over to that right-hand side, or the left-hand side, pardon me. Oh no. Wrong time for a drought. Ian Keefe gets the J piece over. Beautiful flat burns. Still looking for that eyepiece. But it's... Oh, there it is. I was going to say it wasn't going to show up. And Ian Keefe is back to a neutral board, as James Chin likes to call it. Dirty Tetris over there for Draco at 205. There is Tetris for Ian Keefe. Finally able to start scoring Tetrises as Draco has a couple of options here. Can go for the row 2, can try and burn this all the way out. Currently with a 50,000 point lead, which is about 2.5 Tetrises. A little bit under a half. And right now, Draco, hold on, goes for the S spin tuck, was not going to hold out for the T. This could actually prove to be a bit problematic because this formation, there's no way to really find an efficient way to get back into a Tetris readiness position. This is going to grant Ian Keefe the opportunity he was looking for. Ian Keefe not only trails by 30,000 points and is in a position to continue scoring Tetrises once this left side gets addressed. It was a tough decision, but kind of one that was forced on Draco there. Didn't really have any room elsewhere. T-Spin's going to get hit. And just like that, Ian Keefe trails by 1 Tetris. 237 now for Ian Keefe, 255 for Draco. Draco still holding on to the lead. Was able to get cleaned up quickly enough to prevent Ian Keefe from taking it at that moment. No Tetris for Draco goes up to 304. Beautiful double for Ian Keefe. Fortunately, that S piece is going to force Ian Keefe to take some burns. Does he burn this all the way out? Does he go for the center? Looks like there might be a consideration for a center well. But no, it's just going to burn it all the way out. We are closing in on level 19 transition. About 4 Tetrises can be afforded for both players here. There's one for Ian Keefe. In order to get all 4 Tetrises, Draco would need to play perfect. There's one. Draco can get 2 more. It's a Tetris for Ian Keefe, level 19, almost here. No Tetris for Draco, 1 more remains until level 19. Ian Keefe adjusting transitions at 385. Draco going to transition at 425. Ian Keith's going to already knock down the Tetris. Draco having to do some cleanup. Left side being addressed over here for the most part on Ian Keith's board. But he is Tetris ready. Forced to do some conservative burns. Beautiful flat L placement. There's the Tetris for Draco, but a counter Tetris for Ian Keith. Gonna be looking for a J piece next. Converts it into an LJ dependency, utilizing that I piece. Both players now on level 20. There's the Tetris for Ian Keith, 465. Draco is in a must-win position. Can't afford to lose this one. There's another Tetris for Ian Keith. Draco's getting Tetris ready and knocks it down. Still maintaining the lead. 508 to now 492. But Ian Keith is putting on the pressure. Another Tetris for Draco. But Draco has some parity issues that need to be resolved. Ian Keith also having to do some burning as well. Another Tetris for Ian Keith. Back into the lead. 549 to now 566 following that Tetris from Draco. And that's a misdrop from Ian Keith. And that's the thing, the way that both of these players are playing, they're matching each other Tetris for Tetris. Ian Keith needs Draco to stop being as efficient as he is. Draco now leads by 2 Tetrises. Ian Keith had to spend almost the past level and a half burning through this. Draco now almost up to a 100,000 point lead. 626 for Draco. Doing everything that he can to keep hope alive in this match and in this match alone. Draco's now Tetris ready. Goes for a safety double, knocks down a Tetris. 663 to now 575. A Tetris for Ian Keith. Breaks the 600k barrier. Both players stacking clean. 4 levels remain left here on level 19. Left side's a bit of a concern for Ian Keith. He's just going to have to bring the stack down. Has no comfortable way to deal with it. However, Draco forced to take a triple, too. So both players slowing down and scoring. Ian Keith trailing by 2 Tetrises. Post level 24, Tetrises are worth 30,000 points apiece. It is up to Draco to maintain a clean board, to continue scoring Tetrises, not to let Ian Keith in any way or fashion. But Ian Keith is Tetris ready. Draco not getting the pieces he's looking for. There it is, Tetris for Ian Keith. Closing the gap, down by 40,000 points. Setting up for a center well this time. This could get dangerous. This is dangerous. Ian Keith, long bar, hits the stack, but unable to get a piece over to left. Looks like that's going to be it. Draco stays alive here in the set, bringing the match to a 2-1 outcome. Favor of Ian Keith. An 885 here for Draco. That'd have been a tough score to beat. Ian Keith would have to have gone perfect. But a level 30. You'd love to see it. All right, both players are ready. All right, Windows, stop yelling at me. Both players are ready. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 4. Do we see a decider, or is Ian Keith going to close it out? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Ooh, you gotta love the S, or this time it's a ZS start. You can keep going for a lot of vertical space here in this opener. Oh, looks like we got ourselves a little opening drought. It's not a super huge one, unlike what we saw in game number 2. It's enough to make sure that it keeps these players on their toes. Not going to be seeing any perfect starts here from the beginning, or at least flawless starts. They very much will be perfect in terms of the way that they decide to play them. Not too aggressive, not too conservative, but not flawless. Discipline triple burned over there for Ian Keith. And so far, Ian Keith has been able to grow an advantage here in the beginning. Just had a little bit of a better stack after the opener, and Draco not able to get pieces in their desired locations. This is going to cost some more burns. Going to be looking for an L or an I piece. Gets the I piece to convert the dependency into a J. Great placements over here for Draco. Well is open, but now Draco's the one that's down by almost 100,000. And that's the thing that's, such a challenge with same piece set matches. Ian Keith not liking the way that he played that. Even had the face palm. When you're in same piece set matches, especially going up against someone of a equal caliber as you, as both these players are rubies, going up against someone in a equal caliber, coming back from these deficits is such a challenge. Because it's reliant on your opponent to not be efficient, to make a mistake, and for you to have the propensity to capitalize on said mistake. Same piece set matches are no joke. As you can see already, Draco has not been playing around either. Has made a comeback down by only 40,000 points at 179. Ian Keith at 214. Dealing with some unfavorable pieces at the moment. Ian Keith's lead has basically been evaporated. As a matter of fact, the lead now goes in the hands of Draco. Tetris for Ian Keith, 244. Draco is going to be set up for one as well. Ian Keith still rocking this center well. Just going to burn it out. Of course, now, with each game that Draco is able to win, more pressure gets put on Ian Keith. He has this game to quote-unquote give away, in a sense that it's not a must-win game for his team's success. It's not do or die or anything like that. But definitely would like to close this out before game 5, where pressure gets to an all-time high. Of course, Ian Keith is a veteran here in Gauntlet, so he well aware of how things can be. Tetris is going to be scored for Ian Keith, 324 to now 320. Draco actually one of the very few players that has played in all seasons of Gauntlet and has remained on the same team each season. Another player that applies to would be the captain of the Wavy One, Sidnev. But as far as non-captain players go, Oop would be another player. So, very few and far in between. Draco currently with the lead here. Both players waiting on the next long bar. There it is. Tetris for Ian Keith. Goes up to 418. And, ooh. Tricky timing over here for Ian Keith. Now in the danger zone. Love to get an L piece. That I piece is going to work just fine. There it is. Tetris for Ian Keith. just in time before the transition, too. One Tetris can be afforded by both players. Ian Keefe will transition 468. Draco will transition 489. A higher transition than Ian Keith. And now it's up to him to maintain that throughout the entirety of the post-transition. A column 8 is set up for Ian Keith. Nice quick tap is hit over there for Ian. Ian Keith's going to keep things alive and it's just going to take the triple. Draco knocks down Tetris 540. Almost a 2 Tetris lead for Draco. Ian Keith's going to go ahead and burn out. Not going to set up the ambitious column 9. Holding out for the next long bar and is waiting patiently. Nice set of skims. That O piece is a bit annoying. Draco running into complications. Tetris for Ian Keith. Draco not going to be in a position to score at the rate. Yeah, eyepiece comes and Draco can't do anything with it. As a matter of fact, he's in need of another eyepiece. Set up for a dirty Tetris for Draco. There's one way to downstack efficiently is to do it with Tetrises. And Draco's going to hold on to the lead going into level 22. Tetris for Draco goes up to 609. Ian Keith executing on the tuck, looking for another long bar. Finds it. Tetris for Ian Keith, 580 now. Looking for specific pieces, not finding them. Ian Keith's going to be forced to do some burning here. At least 4 burn lines are going to be committed on Ian Keith's part. Draco now at 667, almost a 100,000 point lead. Draco got out of that dig and has just been on a Tetris monsoon. Just Tetris after Tetris, 699 now for Draco, 100,000 point lead. As Ian Keith struggling to find pieces to allow him to get set up for Tetrises. However, Draco might run into a slowdown. Ian Keith not liking these S's whatsoever. Both players now running into complications here on level 24. This is a dangerous position for Ian Keith. T-piece makes it over to the left. Ian Keith still trying to find ways to burn down. Nice quick tempo there for Ian Keith. Keeping hope alive. But it might be all in vain. These pieces are not it. Ian Keith tops out at 612. Draco is good for game number 4. We're going to a decider. I mean, hey, y'all asked for the same piece sets. Don't blame me. Blame what you guys knew y'all were getting into. Actually, if you play on Jim, you can blame all your bad RNG on Kuryaba. We appreciate you, Kuryaba. Anyways, something that I appreciate is this game 5 we're about to get into. Both players are ready. Let's go and get them counted down. Do we see a sudden death? Or are things ending here and now? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. That is a lot of white pieces to open up with. First section of the game is going to go to Ian Keith. And Draco's going to follow suit. And right now, both players off to a somewhat comfortable start. Just gonna stay comfortable, but Ian Keith having to do some burns, just kind of forced upon him. Draco with a 1 Tetris lead, with a long bar dependency now. Should be fine. There's actually multiple ways to try and navigate through this. That is one way, but a hold does get created as a result. Ian Keith gonna take the triple. Very disciplined. This is the decider. This is game number 5. There are no more chances. You gotta leave it all on the matrix here. So far, things are pretty stable for both stacks. Ian Keith currently with the lead at 163, Draco at 153. Draco going to be looking for a L or a J piece. Wow. Draco really having to wait for just finding the piece that could help him fill in that center part of the stack. And you can already see, you've been watching throughout the entirety of this match, how different the players are playing here now that we're in a decider. There's certain decisions being made, certain burns being taken. They understand the situation. And they both understand what's at stake. Ian Keith's going to bring the stack all the way down to the bottom. Still leading by a Tetris, but is in need of a J piece. J piece comes right as soon as he swaps the dependency. Now looking for an I piece. Does find it, but not before Draco was able to score Tetris and bring us to separated by less than 10,000 points. A little bit more. Triple forced over there on Ian Keith's side, but a Tetris is going to be scored 320 to now 304. 2/3 through level 18. And already these O's are getting very uncomfortable. And Keith had to bring the stack down, didn't really have a choice. And Ian Keith might be getting set up for something here. Slightly dirty Lupo Tetris. Knocks it down. Trying to do his best to put as much pressure on Draco, but Draco is unfazed. The board has been clean throughout the majority of this game. The transition is looming. We are 20 lines away for both players. Can Draco complete the reverse sweep? He's doing everything necessary on level 18 to give him his best shot at that. This is it. Both players 3 Tetrises away before level 19. Ian Keith finds one. Draco finds another. 2 Tetrises remain. Ian Keith finds one of those 2. Draco only can score 1 from this point forward until level 19. Ian Keith takes us to transition. 480 transition is what Ian Keith goes. Draco at 541. 3 Tetrises is what separates them here in the decider. Ian Keith forced to do some management. Brings the stack down a little bit lower. Waiting for the next long bar. Going for some safety burns. Eyepiece is just not showing up. There it is, Tetris for Ian Keith. Draco knocks down one as well. A small misdrop for Ian Keith. Tetris going to be scored, but now time has to be invested. Lines have to be put into getting this back into a Tetris scoring position. And oh, that's going to be perfect. Ian Keith opens up the well. Draco is now at 599, but needs an Z or a combination of pieces to help alternate the way that the center gets filled. Draco's back in the scoring position. Ian Keith was already there, waiting on the next long bar. There it is, Tetris for Ian Keith. Goes up to 574. Draco covers up the well, but reopens it just in time for the next long bar. Goes up to 633. Maintaining a lead here, going to level 22. Ian Keith trying to get Tetris ready. Looking for ideal... Oh, beautiful placement on the O. Very brilliant way to mitigate that rough piece that he received. Draco now almost up to 100,000 point lead. Ian Keith forced to do some burns. Beautiful flat double into a Tetris right there for Ian Keith. Now 613 for Ian Keith. Draco knocks down Tetris, goes up to 693. Ian Keith in need of an L piece to fill in the center. Holds out for the L piece. There it is. Tetris for Ian Keith. Goes up to 641. Meanwhile, Draco trying to get Tetris ready. Couldn't utilize that eye piece for a Tetris, but goes for a beautiful flat burn. Opens up the well. Both players knocked out a Tetris. 672 to now 728. Ian Keith gets Tetris ready. Holding out for the long bar. That left side does need to be addressed at some point, and it has to be addressed right now. Ian Keith goes for the tuck. Good. Let's see how Ian Keith decides to resolve this. Goes for the tuck and gets the eyepiece over. 706 now for Ian Keith. Left side is filled up. Down by 2 Tetrises currently, but that's going to be a Tetris for Ian Keith. 738 to now 765. Draco has played this perfectly. No mistakes where Ian Keith has been able to capitalize. But a column 9 Tetris for Ian Keith. 771 to now 797. Draco having to do a little bit of burning. A small window of opportunity. But if there's a Tetris for for Draco, Tetris for Ian Keith, this is going to go down to the wire. 806 to now 833. And Draco's going to have to burn at least 4 lines as a result of covering up the well. Ian Keith might have an opportunity to capitalize. Looking for a J piece. Does get Tetris ready. Still wants that J piece. Oh no, a long bar dependency is built up. Beautiful flat burns over there for Ian Keith. Not going to go for the double rotation. The drought ensues. Ian Keith gets the long bar over, knocks down a Tetris, but Draco's still holding on to a 1 Tetris lead. We're closing in on level 29. There's going to be a Tetris for Draco. 904. Ian Keith is now at 849. And the jaggedness of the board is not accommodating Ian Keith's stack at all. That might be it. There's nothing Ian Keith can do. Draco might have successfully forced a sudden death. Ian Keith's going to try and go aggressive. Not quite set up. Needs another eyepiece. Gets it over. There's one. But he's going to need another and 1 in 29 as well. 893. Not going to be enough. Draco at 951. A flawless post-transition to secure the victory. Bringing the match total to a 2-2. Which means that it has to be resolved in sudden death. What a game. Let me see real quick who else is available for sudden death and see if it's possible for us to have it. So don't go anywhere, everyone. Just a second. Let me see if it's possible for sudden death to happen. So we'll know the answer in about 7 minutes. So bear with us. If not, we'll just have to schedule sudden death for another day. But what a game. What a match. Thank y'all for watching here on on Twitch, as well as those that are watching over on YouTube, and anyone that's watching on Facebook, because we're streaming over there as well. It's been an exciting match, and once again, Top Down still holds the record for the team that has gone to sudden death the most, going to sudden death I believe that's 8 out of 10 matches that they played. If it's not 8, then it's definitely 7. We have enough players on the rogues for a sudden death. We need to see if we can get, or not the rogues for top down, we need to see if we can get one more player on the rogues. I think I can find that other player. I think we're getting a sudden death. Yeah, we're getting a sudden death. Let's go. We are going to get a conclusion to today's match. That's hype. So, for those of you, while we're waiting on the team captains to decide how they want to play Sudden Death, for those of you that don't understand how Sudden Death works, basically, it is a first to 3 game wins. Teams send out 1 player, or teams will choose 3 players to play in a designated order. Neither team knows the other order that the other team picks. It is a best of 1. Whoever wins that game will win 1 point. The first team to 2 points takes the rest of the match. So the way that this format is, you can have crazy mismatches, like players, your players that are typically towards the bottom in terms of skill on their team, comparatively, ends up going up against the team captain. So all right, we got our order from top down. So we just need our team captains, the rogues, to finalize their order. And we'll get playing. Yes, so under this is addressing on YouTube. Under the competitive rule set, the highest that anyone could actually get is level 40. But yeah, you're not going to be seeing unless the match is strictly uncapped, you're not going to be seeing any players reach glitch colors or crash the game. Give me one moment. Oh, that is not correct. Oops. Haha. Not 48. So, thank y'all for being patient. There definitely is a bit of strategizing that goes on whenever sudden death is reached. Alright, let's see. Understandable. Hold on 1 second. I know you guys are waiting. I apologize. It's not a lot that I can do at the moment. So bear with me. Yeah, generally these streams happen once or twice a week. But all right. So we'll be getting started shortly. Rogues player, that is going up first. If you could make sure you're going live. And when both players are ready, we can get them counted down. This is during the regular season, there is no same piece sets. So sudden death is as brutal as it can be. Oops. Hold on, one of those colors is not right. Let me fix that. There we go. When both players have indicated they're ready, with showing ready on the screen, we will be good to go. Oops. I didn't mean to pin that. That was an accident. All right. Both players are here. We just waiting on readies from both of them, and we can get things underway. So you can see both players are warming up. Thanks, CatKit. Swear, at least this weekend, I'll be uploading another video. If not this weekend, then definitely next week. I know, right? Actual YouTube video content. All right, we got it ready from our player from top down. Once our player from the Rogues is done warming up, all All right, got the ready from our player on the Rogues. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here it is. The first game is sudden death, and your matchup is going to be Sam Finch versus Draco. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Definitely a tough matchup for Draco, but in sudden death, it is one game, a best of one. Anything is possible. Of course, that means left in this matchup for top down are just the captains and the transcendents. That being said, both players have gotten 2 Tetrises on the board. These 2 players, Sam Finch is a roller with PB that's north of a couple million, and Draco is a tapper, a CTWC experienced player, I guess you can say. He's made gold a couple of times, he's made silver as well. And the way that sudden death works is very interesting because, you know, at least during the regular season, you know you're not on the same piece sets. You know you only have one game. You have to be very careful how you evaluate each situation. Do I go aggressive here? How far am I behind? Do I take the Tetris or do I fill in the long bar dependency? All those kind of macro things that you think about, there's something that becomes much more prevalent when you only have one game where a mistake can possibly cost your team the match. But right now, Sam Finch in the lead, 167 and now 126. And as of right now, things are pretty even here. Sam Finch with the advantage. But Draco has been doing the best to keep up. Only down by 2 Tetrises. And, oh, that J piece was actually not favorable. But as of right now, Draco gonna be forced to do quite a lot of burning here. Was able to maintain just slightly under Sam Finch's efficiency and has fall behind with that dig. That's one thing that you would expect from a captain of a team. You run into a dig like that and they can easily convert that into 100,000 point deficit on your part. But right now, we're closing in on level 19, about 2/3 through the pre-transition. Both players have been keeping the board mostly low. And, oh, Draco deciding not to go for the placements over to the left. And, oh, that misdrop. Able to slide something underneath. And we're at level 18, so there's a lot of piece maneuverability afforded with his playstyle. And just like that, a down stack, a clean down stack is going to be awarded. You got to pay for them shovels to dig out somehow. Sam Finch almost up to over 100,000 point lead. 390 to now 296. And this has gotten really complicated for Draco. There's no way for him to really burn out of this in a super efficient manner. Those pieces are going to be great. That Z piece, not too friendly. About 4 Tetrises left. Draco needs an eyepiece, and he needs one right now. If he doesn't get it, he's going to top out. Draco tops at 325. The Rogues lead sudden death 2-1. However, it's up to for the final 2 players to close out. Just a really tough situation for Draco. Not able to really get into a scoring position post-level or post around 80-ish lines. But we're going to head into our intermission as we get stuff set up for our next game. Thank y'all, everyone, once again for watching. I promise you it won't be as long as the wait in between the next match this time around. All right, both players are done warming up and such, and we have it ready. We can get our second match of sudden death underway. All right, looks like we do have a hover 8. Not quite the readies up that we're looking for. There's the ready for the Rogues. Looking on already from the player from top down. I also hope everyone has been having a fantastic day. This has been a lot of fun. Another close match, and of course, it would be top down to bring us to another sudden death. That's one thing about this team. Just sudden deaths are aplenty with them. But as I mentioned, it is very important that top down wins this match to stay in the running for the top 6 teams to go into the playoffs, and being able to avoid having to play in the playoff play-in tournament. So we do got the hover from our player at top down. There's the ready. Let's go ahead and get these 2 players counted down, as your players that are going to be facing off against each other are going to be Matt Martin and Curie. It's going to be a tough game, but this is sudden death. It's one game. Anything can happen. And already Curie going to be forced to take some burns early on. Very uncomfortable stack developing here. Wait, Curie's actually in some trouble! Hold on. Okay, he's gonna stay alive. Eyepiece couldn't have come at a better time over there for Curie. The stack is still getting up high. He's just gonna take the triples, and I don't blame him. This is sudden death. You only have one game. What a scary way to open up a game in sudden death. And Curie still having a rough time trying to string consistent Tetrises together. But looks like things should be stable for the most part. We are set up for something here in the center, column 8. Nice adjustment on the T-piece. It's going to be a triple, and... oh! What a solve over here from Curie. Going to set up the delay burn, too. Fortunately, those pieces weren't the best to maintain the upper heights of efficiency there. But Curie is still going to be set up for this column 8. $259 for Matt. Going to be looking for a J piece followed by an I piece. Or, hold on. $177 now for Curie. $264 for Matt Martin. Nice. The spin was hit too. And Matt Martin's not finding the Z piece or T piece. Either or would have worked. That O piece would have been perfect for the burn. Matt Martin really holding out for that Z piece. Now Matt Martin's set up for a Tetris. Curie has closed the gap. Martin's just going to bring the stack all the way down. Looks like he's in the middle of a drought. Curie, a bit uncomfortable, but knocks down a Tetris anyways. Just like that, the 100,000 point lead that Matt Martin was able to build early on has just been neutralized by that one situation towards the center. Martin's going to take the safety triple. Curie has taken the lead. The stack that Curie currently has is not one that can score Tetris, at least for the next 2 lines. Matt Martin holding out for the long bar. There it is, Tetris for Matt Martin. 337 and now 321, another Tetris. Curie up top. Surviving. He's going to get the well open. Brings the stack down. Another scare over here for Curie. And is not completely out of it. As a matter of fact, has a secret grade developing in the center or the leftmost side of the stack. Long bar dependent over there in column 9. Trying to avoid ample long bar dependencies. That gets filled, but it only burns 1 line. Curie still down stacking. Matt Martin was up top 2. Was able to get a Tetris to bring the stack down. Curie needs another long bar, and he would like one sooner than later. Pieces aren't ideal, but he's finding a way. That's a split triple. But hold on, we are closing in on level 19. If these pieces don't turn up to be a little bit better, this could still be dangerous. And that piece is going to bring Curie back into safer pastures. What a tense moment that was. Curie's going to transition at 358. Matt Martin transitions at 525. No Tetris for Matt Martin. Curie at 413 has brought the stack all the way down to the bottom. Matt Martin's just going to go for the safety triple. Has a 140,000 point lead and also has a little bit of a line advantage. Just want to get Tetris ready safely. Curie holding up at the long bar, waiting patiently. So is Matt Martin. Tetris for Matt. Curie not finding this long bar whatsoever. There it is. Tetris for Curie. Matt Martin having to take some burns. Curie able to knock down another Tetris. 471 to now 590. Matt Martin trying to deal with this left-hand side as Curie's trying to get Tetris ready, or maintain Tetris readiness. Eyepiece makes it over to the left for Matt Martin. Curie holding up at the long bar, waiting patiently. Gets it over to the right. Tetris for Curie. And a Tetris for Matt. 620 to now 499. Curie reopens up the well. Waiting for the next long bar. Goes for the triple. Matt Martin, hold on. This board state is not safe. Has to go for some burns. Misjump! Matt Martin's going to top it at 622. Curie needs to get to 623. Hits the spin. There's the Tetris. Goes up to 570. 623 is what Curie needs. Narrowly gets the eyepiece over. One more Tetris will do it. And there it is. Tetris for Curie. We're going to a game 3 here in sudden death. Unfortunate situation right there for Matt. And Curie, props to him, escaping death so many times in that game. But that means it comes down to our final players. So we'll head into intermission one last time. When we have it ready from both players, we can get the final game of sudden death counted down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your final match of sudden death. Winner of this takes it all. That being said, let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. For your final match is Ian Keith versus Somalian. Ian Keith having to bounce back from the close decider with Draco. Somalian having to bounce back from the sweep that Sodium got up against him. Nice ice spin over there from Ian Keith. As of right now, this game is as even as you can get it. 142 to 145. Ian Keith with the lead. You can't ask for a better start. Somalian slightly more efficient than Ian Keith in the beginning. He's taken 2 less burn lines. Ian Keith going to be forced to do some burning here. Both players actually running into a slowdown at the same moment. Somalian with the dirty Tetris in the well transfer. Ian Keith looking for an L or a J, followed up by an I piece. There's an I piece now. Once a J, fill in that dependency. I piece is going to work out well too. Somalian now also looking for an I piece. Not going to be able to score until now. Tetris for Somalian. There's Tetris for Ian Keith. 226 now, 261. Center what Tetris is going to be scored over there for Ian Keith. Somalian actually running into a slowdown. If Ian Keith could find 2 eyepieces. There's one. Needs a second one for the Tetris. As Somalian is now back and clean. There's the second one for the Tetris. Ian Keith's back to the right-hand side. 277 and now 297. Separated by 1 Tetris here. Ian Keith just 1 Tetris shy a Somalian score right now. Was one Mino shy of scoring a Tetris. S-Piece makes it smart over to the left. This can get dangerous. Well, player stacks, we're getting up a little bit high. 349 to now 348. Somalian with a 1 Tetris pace advantage. No Tetris over there for Somalian. Ian Keith finds another long bar. It's going to be another Tetris for both players, actually. Somalian now. He's gotten, or kept the board under control. Great timing on the I and the J piece for Ian Keith. Just what he's looking for. Somalian going for a center wheel now. Samo Tetris scored for both players right there. Another Tetris for Ian Keith back into contention. Nice recognition right there for Ian Keith. The post transition is almost here. 3 Tetrises remain possible for both players. Ian Keith would have to play perfect to get all 3 of his, which, following that J placement's not going to happen. But there's one. Another one can be achieved over here by Ian Keith, and Ian Keith intentionally creates the long bar dependency. It's just going to burn it out. No. One more line available for Ian Keith. Somalian is going to transition at 525. Ian Keith transitions at 540. This is it. Game 3 is sudden death. The post transition. Tetris for Somalian. Ian Keith is set up. Throwing pieces over to the left. Oh, the misdrop. The accidental double rotation. Eyepiece has to come right now for Ian Keith. And it doesn't come. Ian Keith tops out at 544. Somalian at 555. Takes game number 3 of sudden death. And top down. Take the match. 3-2. A crucial win for Top Down this season. With this, Top Down now has a record of 4-7. They're not out the woods yet. The Rogues now 5-6, still on track to guarantee them, well, not guarantee, but to make the playoffs, or at top 6 at least, because the Wavy ones are right with them, 5-6 as well, following their most recent loss to the Millionaires. What a game. What a match. I'm going to let Somalian finish playing this out. Wow. But things only are going to get harder from here. Top Down still has to go up against the Grandmasters, who are currently 10-0. Go up against the Millionaires, who are currently 8-2. Have to face the Stochastic Squad, which is currently 7-4. Or no, they don't have to face the Stochastic Squad. Pardon me. Have to face the Drywellers. It's a lot of tough teams left. If they want a chance to guarantee themselves in the playoffs, they're going to have to close the gap wherever possible. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight's matchup. I hope you had a blast watching. I had a blast commentating. And if you're watching on YouTube, be looking forward for more content I know, right? That's crazy, right? More YouTube content. What? If you're watching on YouTube, be looking forward towards more content, as well as if you're watching on Facebook, for whoever might be watching on Facebook. So, be looking forward to more content on that front.